I mask you a question? So I'm making a video about masks. I don't really have a reason I'm doing this. I was kind of sitting around one day and I thought, I should make a video about masks. So, in this very important list, we have to get some rules. 1. One mask per series. 2. There is no number 2. It's a pretty self-explanatory video. It's just me talking about masks. Like it's not this big. I'm just stalling for time. Anyways, top 10 masks in fiction. That's Unmask number 10. You can click off right now. I won't blame you. You know, this is going to be interesting when this guy's only number 10.
Okay.
The Mask from the movie and the comics of the same name was a pretty obvious choice for this list. Mask is basically what would happen if you gave a normal guy a power of Bugs Bunny. That's probably my favorite thing about the Mask. Probably everyone's favorite thing about the Mask. It's just the contrast between him and everyone else in his entire world. While everyone else lives by normal human rules, Mask can do superhuman feats such as taking a giant explosion to his face, stretching out his body, making people interested in the Sonic movie, stuff like that. While in the Jim Carrey movie, the mask is only worn by one person, in the comics we see multiple different people wear it. Also in the comics, we see multiple people die. Graphically, horrifically, brutally. I know most people know this by now, but it's still shocking. Like, how is this turned into a kid's movie with Jim frickin' Carrey? Anyways, the whole everyone but Mask lives by human logic thing is even more apparent in the comics. Because of the whole, you know, blood, murder, death, sadness, evil, murder, bad thing that happens in the comics. While in the movies, Mask is just called a Mask, in the comics, he's called the Big Head Killer. And he, well, kills multiple people, and multiple people kill him, and the Mask just keeps going back and forth between everyone. Okay, so obviously the Mask is like this really cool character, he's really iconic. His name's literally called the Mask. Why isn't he number 10? Shouldn't he be like at least top 5, maybe even top 3? Why am I saying that? Well, have you noticed that I haven't talked about the Mask at all? Oh, it's like the actual physical thing he puts on his face to become a superhero. The mask itself is boring. It's just a green slab, and that's really all there is. Not very interesting, not very unique design. It's when someone else is wearing a mask is where it gets cool. He's a great character, that's why he's on this list at all, but I'm mostly focusing on the design and overall thing of the mask itself on this list. And the mask is just simply not a very cool mask. Oh, and some of the mask also exists.
Mother.
I wish it didn't. Horror films and masks go together like me disappointing my loved ones. A lot of horror comes from what you don't see, so masks are quite handy in highlighting your villain. I could just fill this list of horror characters if I want to be honest, but for some diversity, I just wanted to pick one to represent horror as a whole. So who is it? Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Ghostface. How about instead of all of those, Gecko on steroids? Okay, before you kill me for saying this, the original Predator film is 100% a horror movie. The sequels, maybe not so much, but no one cares about the sequels anyways. A big part of what makes the original Predator film such a great movie is that we don't really know what the monster is. Okay, we know it's an alien because they put a ship at the beginning of the film for some reason, but we don't really know what he looks like. At least when you first see the film, everyone knows what the Predator looks like now. And that's really one of the coolest things about having a mask on a character, because it really hides who they are and what they can do. Like, he seems like he's a reptilian creature, but he's also got a lot of this weird fancy technology. Could he be like a robot or a cyborg even? But still, the mask really helps elevate the drama and the suspense of the first Predator film. Also, the mask is just really freaking cool itself. Like I said, a lot of this is just going to be, I think the mask looks cool, and the mask looks cool. It's a skull face. It's a metallic skull-like face dreadlocks for some reason, but it still looks cool. It's what we in the business call pretty epic. Expect me to say stuff like that a lot in this video. If you ever finish writing a script only to remember that you should have had a certain something in the script that you tried to mention in the script, but like it's like a really obvious example of what you're talking about, so you should probably have it in your video. You also forget to shave before a video.
What have I got?
This is the first living mask on the list. Aku Aku is basically just life bar in Crash Bandicoot. This is a really interesting game mechanic. Like, if anyone's making another indie game or whatever, have your health bar be like a physical thing instead of like an actual bar on the UI. Aku Square's design is admittedly kind of basic, but that's what it makes sense to me. It's based off of tribal masks, but it still has enough stuff on it to make it look unique, like the feathers. And I didn't know Aku Aku, because who cares about Crash Bandicoot lore, is that he was once a human who died and was reborn as a mask. Same thing with his brother, who probably should be on this list with him, but like, no. Like, can you just imagine how lame it would be to die and be reborn as an accessory? Like, that just really must suck. I mean, it could be worse. It would look like Aku Aku in Crash of the Titans. It's a fate worse than death. There are a lot of big questions we will never get an answer to. Are we alone in this universe? Who made the Easter Island heads? I believe in Mothman. Does Mothman believe in me? The mystery of Shy Guy's true face is not one of these. Like, his true face was shown in Luigi's Mansion. Kinda. Okay, we'll probably never know what the true face of Shy Guy is. But that's part of his charm. The guy who is shy barely appears in Mario games, mostly just being a spin-off character and being in the Yoshi's Island franchise. Every time he appears, I don't know, it just makes me happy. You know? Maybe it's a Mr. Angle selecting under his mask. But maybe it's just because I myself am a shy guy. My god, that's cheesy. Why did I write that in the script? Anyways, Shy Guy mask. Shy Guy is cute, and his mask has that same simplistic but enjoyable charm that he has. Keep him being shy, my guy.
Mr. Angry Eyes!
One of the most notable masks in real life is the Plague Doctor mask. I'm not going to go into the history of Plague Doctor because that's boring. You probably already know it, and if you don't, you can just, there's like billions of other videos you can probably look up that says it a little bit than I could. But either way, Plague masks are cool. Now obviously I gotta make it in fiction. There's so many Plague masks in fiction, but I could really only choose one. And honestly, the decision for me was pretty easy. Now, first things first, is this even a mask, or is this just Plague Knight's face? Well, then it says mask, so it's a mask. Yay, woo! Okay, so y'all know why Plague masks are cool, but why pick Plague Knight over literally any other Plague mask wearer? Simple. He's green. That's my favorite color. That's really the only reason why he's here. I think Plague Knight's mask complements his design better than any other Plague Doctor character. In other words, he's a huge nerd trying to be a threat. While he's just a normal boss in the original Level of Hope, Plague of Shadows is where he really shines. This motherfricker, right here, literally harvests the souls of all of his allies just to impress a girl. And that girl is like, no, I just want to dance. And then they dance. And Plague Knight finally gets the goth GF of his dreams and is the single greatest romance in gaming history. Plague of Shadows is the best Shovel Knight campaign. Don't at me. If horror films and masks go together like me disappointing my parents, then masks and superheroes go together like me disappointing my friends. There's a lot of cool masks in the DC-verse, but come on, this is a no-brainer. Batman's mask really makes Batman. You could argue it's his cape or his belt, but Batman's mask just really ties it all together, make it look more bat-like, for lack of a better word. And yes, I know it's a cowl, but cowls are just masks but edgy. Something I like about the cowl is that it gives Batman these white-out eyes, adding to the mystery and fear factor that Batman is going for his costume. Not much else to say besides that. It's a good mask. Next entry. Star Wars masks go together like me and not being original. Yes, there's a lot of masks of Star Wars. I'm talking about Darth Vader. Darth Vader's on this list. Darth Vader's number 4. Why do I have to explain to you? Darth Vader. Everyone knows Darth Vader is. Let's move on to entry number 3. Okay, seriously, I've spent like 10 minutes, probably even more, trying to think of what to say about Darth Vader's mask. I just couldn't. Like, it's the Star Wars is the single most analyzed thing in all of media. Like, this is even my first time talking about Star Wars. And Darth Vader is like the most well-known character in that franchise. Probably thanks just for his mask looking so cool. That's all I can say. It's cool. It's iconic. It's really important and interesting in the Star Wars lore if you dig into it. It's Darth Vader. Next entry again. I hope to God the rest of these entries aren't as boring as the last two. Picking a mask from the Marvel Universe was the single hardest decision I had to make on this list. If it wasn't for my 1 per series rule, I really could have just filled this list with Marvel masks. Few honorable mentions: Iron Man, Ant-Man, Wolverine, Star-Lord, Black Panther, Juggernaut, Magneto, but only one to make on this list, and yeah, it was pretty easy to choose here. Big Wheel Spider-Man. Literally everything you really need to know about Spider-Man is summarized by his mask. Like, when I was younger, I never understood why Spider-Man looked like that. He had that design. Like, Batman looks like a bat. Spider-Man looks nothing like a spider. But that's not really the purpose of it. It's supposed to look like spider webbing. And the webbing all comes to his mask in the middle. The mask covers Peter's face. His secret identity is the most important thing to him. You know, great power comes great responsibility. I especially like how the eyes move in like the MCU movies. Like, it really gives him more personality. That's what Spider-Man really is. He's just this really big personality. I think that's one of the reasons why he resonates with so many people and has remained one of, if not the most iconic characters in all fiction for so long. There's a lot of amazing options here, but Spider-Man was the most spectacular. I wish for death every day, but it never comes to me. Well, of course this is going to be on the list. Well, I personally think Majora's Mask, the game, might be a bit overhyped, though still really good. Don't get me wrong, I love it. Majora's Mask, the character, is legitimately one of the most interesting things in all of Zelda. Once just a normal mask used for hexing rituals, it got so powerful that the tribe that used it had to seal it away in hopes that no one would ever unleash its unspeakable evil ever again. Eventually, the Happy Mask Salesman got its hands on it and was routed by Skull Kid. You know what happens next. Skull Kid steals the mask, Happy Mask Salesman strangles a little boy, childhood trauma ensues. Majora is terrifying. Very original statement, I know. But, like, actually, back when I was a dumb, stupid idiot kid, I just kind of skipped past the text and thought that Majora's Mask was just a mask. And that's probably even better viewpoint for someone looking at this, because it really shows Skull Kid slowly losing his sanity, along with the control of the mask throughout the entire game. Majora is masked, no I'm not sorry, in so much mystery, intrigue, and horror. I can honestly talk about it for much longer than this one simple segment in this video, but it's probably been done before, let's be honest. I didn't mention its design, which is just fantastic. The varied, vivid colors and the heart-like shape gives it this almost playful, innocent look. Then you see those eyes, those terrifying, soul-piercing eyes. And it's just so great, guys. It does leave one very important question, though. Why is this not number 1? And I know this seems ridiculous that this is not number 1, but I do have a good reason. Before we get to that, though, I should talk about some honorable mentions. Okay, so I have got like so many honorable mentions. I'm just gonna go pretty rapid fire. Also, these in no particular order. Jason, Michael, Ghostface, and Leatherface mask. Like I said, I could have filled this as horror films, but I just went with Predator because that was my favorite. If you are curious, though, Jason would have been number 10 if I didn't remember Akuraku. The Power Rangers masks. I don't watch Power Rangers, but Power Rangers is very iconic, and their masks are really cool looking. So, deserves mention at least. Yokai's mask from Big Hero 6. I wanted a Disney entry on this list, but this is like the only thing I can think of.
That was his mistake.
Shredder's mask from TMT. I don't know if this counts, but it's really cool. So Samus's helmet. This was like super hard to cut. I really want to put this on the list, but I only had 10 entries. I'm sorry, Samus. You were so close to making this list. Cubone's mask, because I want you all to suffer. The Haunted mask from Goosebumps. Probably should be on this list because it's another one of those like living masks, but like its design is just so boring. I just couldn't put on this. I'm sorry. Joker's mask from Persona 5. Because I'm using Persona 5 music, might as well put the characters on there. But I'm a Swish peasant, and the only experience I have with Joker is from Smash Bros. Not enough to make an impression, sadly. The unmasking scenes in Scooby-Doo. I really wanted to include these, but like that's like 300 entries in one, and that's just pushing it way too much. Vega's mask from Street Fighter. Really cool looking. There's just masks I like more. Doom Guy's helmet from Doom and Master Chief's helmet from Halo. Both look way too similar for me to put one over the other, but both deserve a mention. Deku's mask from My Hero Academia. Probably would have made this list if you wore it for more than like 3 episodes. The generic hero mask from literally every single work of fiction ever made, because it's been in literally every single work of fiction ever made. Lucina's mask from Fire Emblem Awakening. How on earth does she just hide her face? Like, Superman's glasses do a better job at hiding his identity than this mask. Still cool looking though. V's mask from V from Vendetta. Technically DC property, and it just couldn't beat Batman. But like, it's really, really iconic. So, I might as well mention it. Psycho Mantis's mask from Metal Gear, because I needed a gas mask on this list. But I don't play Metal Gear. Stone mask from JoJo, because I have at least 5 friends who will crucify me if I don't mention this. Way too many masks from Star Wars, Marvel, and DC, specifically all these people. And finally, Scorpion's mask from Mortal Kombat, or more accurately, Reptiles, because again, green. Finally, number 1. So like I said, Majora would probably be number 1 for most people. I wouldn't even argue with you if you put Majora at number 1. But I do have a really good reason why I did not pick Majora for this list. Bias.
With a suit and tie.
This wasn't even a contest. The second I found this idea, I knew Midnight was going to top it. Is it because I'm a giant Kirby fan with an extremely huge bias and borderline obsession for this franchise, but that's essentially a gumball? Yes. But even with that aside, Midnight deserves number 1. Let's get the easy point out of the way. This mask is just freaking sick, dude. Like, Midnight in general is just really cool. This is an objective fact. But again, also the mask has this level of mystery behind it. Not as much as, let's say, Majora, but like, in almost every boss fight you fight him in, his mask breaks when you beat him. And you probably know by now, but he looks exactly like Kirby. This still intrigued me, like, why does he look like Kirby? Why is he ashamed from his face? Like, everyone knows Kirby as a hero. Wouldn't you want to look like the most beloved person in your entire universe? Midnight's interaction with Kirby in general has been weird. Even going back to Kirby's adventure, sometimes he gives you healing items, other times he sends his minions on you. Like, what's his deal? A lot of the mystery that comes with Midnight comes from the mask. And I just think that's really cool. He's extremely honorable. He cares deeply about his underlings. He always gives you a sword before he fights, even when he's at his most evil. But he is embarrassed by the mask breaking. Why? Again, everyone knows and loves Kirby, and he looks exactly like Kirby. Why not just embrace it? Yes, this is all really intriguing and interesting, and it is a big reason why Meta Knight makes it so high. But it's really also because his mask is just freaking cool, guys. Like, the V shape, with glowing yellow eyes. It's just an amazing design for a mask, and that is why it is my #1 mask in fiction. That, and also because it's from Kirby. Like, there was no other really big, notable masks from Kirby, so it had to be this one. Actually, now I think about it, there is Diddy's mask. Yeah, that's a pretty cool looking mask. I'd probably even say it's cooler than Meta Knight's. My favorite mask design that I've mentioned on this list, including honorable mentions and whatnot, this is really a cool looking mask. It's almost skull-like, with these yellow spikes jutting out of it. It's one of the most unique mask designs ever put into anything. Whenever Deity puts this thing on, he's getting serious, and you know it. Deity is always just this big memer, even in the first game where he's the main villain. But yeah, when he slaps this thing on, and you know he's out for blood. He's no longer with your rival. This penguin will kill you. He always brings his strongest weapons, and in general, he just seems less Deity-like. More of like the main rival that you would expect from Kirby. The boss fights with Master Deity are always amazing, especially in Ultra and Triple Deluxe. Two of the best boss fights in all of Kirby. Also, his music just freaking slaps. So, who's #1? Meta Knight or Deity? Well, I don't know, there's a lot really cool about both of them. Meta Knight's mask is far more iconic and important to the games, but Deity's is more interesting design and better music to go along with them. So, who gets #1? Well, I have a foolproof way of picking who gets #1 spot on this list. In this box, I have the tie-breaking question, and I'll just answer it pretty easily, and we'll see who's #1. Oh, son of a... Yeah, it's a tie. I'm sorry. I really tried. I just can't pick a favorite. I can pick my favorite from Marvel, DC, Star Wars, horror, but for these two, they were neck and neck. They're both great in their own ways, and they are truly, in my very humble opinion, the greatest masks ever put in fiction. So that was my list. If you disagree with it, you suck. This is the definitive list of masks in fiction. This is a very, very important, most important video I'll ever make. And if you disagree, why? I can't see through this thing.